Thanks so much for joining us. It's time for our health segment, and this is a topic I'm really interested in discussing. A healthy life should be top priority. That's why we are discussing signs of dyslexia in children. And now Dr. Adrienne Tikolo is here with us. She's certified in educational testing, dyslexia assessment, support and intervention, and she's passionate about helping children. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so I'm not sure how many people watching right now understand what exactly dyslexia is, what it means, and what the signs are.
All right, thank you so much. So dyslexia is a specific learning difficulty.
Okay.
And it impacts your ability to learn to read, write, and spell. It can also impact speech development, concentration, your ability to memorize and to pay attention. So it's basically a language processing issue.
Okay. All right, so there are probably some parents right now maybe feeling a little anxious because they've seen signs of maybe slower than usual or than common development with their child, and they don't know what to look out for. When should they really be worried?
All right, for dyslexia, like I said, it's specific to language. So when you see a cluster of some of the signs I will tell you now, then you want to begin to take some action.
Okay.
So when the child is in nursery, for instance, you would find that he has delayed speech. So usually they don't speak early.
Okay.
Maybe 3 years old, then they begin to babble about 3 years old.
Okay.
Okay, and then they have difficulty with rhyming words. Yes.
Rhyming words.
Yes, so words that have the same ending. They have difficulty with nursery rhymes.
Okay.
It's a good
like
sign.
book and cook and look.
Exactly.
Okay.
So they have difficulty with that. They have difficulty with learning the alphabet and the sounds, again, which is one of the fundamental difficulties with dyslexia, phonological awareness. And then they also have, they're not sure their handedness. So today they're using the right hand, tomorrow they're using the left hand.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so they have that difficulty as well. But as they get older, the signs become more obvious when they begin to focus on reading and writing. And then you find that they're having difficulty with blending sounds together, difficulty with writing. They're usually slower than others to learn how to write, especially letters that are curved. They have difficulty with spelling. They make anagrams of words, so they could read a word correctly on a page and wrongly on another page. So they could read was, and then the next time they read it as saw. For instance, so they make anagrams of words.
Okay.
You know, they have difficulty decoding, like I said. They have difficulty remembering instructions, and all of the difficulties cluster around, you know, memory or reading, writing, and spelling concentration. So
it does feel like a very complicated issue to diagnose. It also feels like something parents might not quickly notice. The God forbid factor will now come in there a lot quicker than going to the doctor. So when parents go to a doctor, a pediatrician, which they should be going to regularly for checkups, what should the questions be?
So the question, usually doctors can't diagnose dyslexia, unfortunately.
Wow.
It would have to be someone that's trained, you know, like an educational psychologist that has a flair for or bias for dyslexia, or a dyslexia expert. Okay, but usually they would still go to the doctor and say, I don't know, my child is really intelligent, but he's just having difficulty with reading. Is there something wrong? He doesn't know his letters, or, you know, I mean, he speaks very well, but he's not writing well, and he's not doing as well in school, and I'm concerned that something is wrong. So because they're usually quite intelligent, they have average to high intelligence. Dyslexia doesn't affect your intelligence, so people begin to get worried that he's really smart, but he's not doing as well as I expect.
Can it be overcome over time?
All right, so the difficulties certainly can be overcome, but dyslexia is inherited. And so like the color of your eyes or the texture of your hair, you can't change that. So you're dyslexic for life, but you can overcome the difficulties that might come with dyslexia.
I've heard of quite a few people that live with this condition, and they've been thriving, so to speak. I hear there's even an actor, I think Keanu Reeves, who is one of the biggest actors all over the world, and he apparently grew up dyslexic, but it feels like he's overcome it, so to speak. So what exactly has happened?
Okay, so first let me shock you that 1 in 5 persons is dyslexic all over the world.
1 in 5?
Yeah, so it's that common. 1
Wow.
in 5, 20% of any population is dyslexic.
Wow.
And dyslexics have really great strengths. So they're very good creatively, music, acting, drama, you know, speech and speaking, design, architecture, you know, engineering. They're really good in some areas. Okay. And that's the dilemma here. Very good in some areas, but struggling with language. Okay, so yes, you might find him in an area that is his strength, and he'll be a high flyer. Okay. But when it comes to reading, writing, spelling, putting your ideas down on paper, and then you begin to see them struggle. So a lot of people are dyslexic. They probably don't know. They know, oh, I'm really good when it comes to music or drawing or art. You know, but when it comes to reading, I'm too slow. I don't comprehend what I'm reading, and then you begin to see the signs.
So let's talk a little bit about awareness and possibly stigma around conditions like this. Of course, in this part of the world, in Africa, any kind of disorder that seems mental is stigmatized, and it's considered someone from the village, you know, doing something. What exactly should a parent's response be, or family members' response be, if they notice someone living with this condition?
All right, like I said, dyslexia is very common. Someone in every family is dyslexic, you know, so you really need to be understanding. As parents, you need to be your child's best advocate. Now, dyslexia is inherited. They've inherited that gene from you or someone in your family, your grandparent, their grandparents. So you need to be understanding. You need to seek for a solution. You know, you shouldn't assume that the child is lazy, you know, dumb, not paying attention, not concentrating, not applying themselves. But you need to understand that every child wants to also succeed. And so if they're struggling, there should be something more that we should be looking at. How can we help? What can the teachers do? What can I do more at home? You know, be your child's best advocate.
Fantastic. And because of advocates like yourself, a lot more information and knowledge is being shared, even right here on air. I have to say a big thank you to you.
Thank you so much.
To us today.
Thank you so much.
And hopefully we'll be getting some of your comments and contributions on this particular topic. If you have questions, please use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.